What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. We are at Sunblock of Rome in Georgia, and we're going to be working on another 22 Super Duty. Nothing but the best. Big shout out to the Banks team, Mr. J. You guys rock. We just overnighted some Banks products. We got some diffies. Follow along. We're going to show you these upgrades on kind of a different style of truck than we're used to working on. All right, guys, let's check it out. All right, everybody, thanks so much for coming back and checking us out. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe right here at the bottom. Ding, ding. 22s, and we're not sitting on 22s. This is quite the accessories. I think these are 40s. Everybody's going to know what tires these are. So these are Toyo MTs. 40 by 1550 R24 LT. So now that we got that out of the way, we have some things going on down here under the back of the truck. We're trying to, oh, look at this. Hello. Totally awesome. One vehicle we don't actually have to take the spare tire down for to do the rear diff cover, but this is, gosh, man, that is freaking way better, isn't it? Let me go on the other side. Let's check this out. First time ever.
Hey, dig my light.
Oh, that's a sick setup. We've never done that before.
I utilized under the
Bro,
light.
check that out. I want to do the rear. I want to do the rear diff cover replacement now.
Can't have it.
Oh, well, this is freaking cool. I don't know if you guys have been following the channel or following Banks, but if you guys think this is just for booty Judy, oh, the light just died. Oh, we need to get a new battery. It actually is functional. Look up Gail Banks's video where he talked.
As it will cool your fluid down.
As it will cool your fluid. He actually made a video using a clear cover designed the same way that the cover that we're about to put on is made, and shows you actually the oil flow and how it goes over the differential gear and everything in that cover compared to stock. This is weird. And I hate Jeeps, but everything on here is stock. We are going to be coming back to put on a pusher and a DCR. We are just going to be doing the Banks cold air intake, and we're going to be doing in this FedEx box the single pod. We have an iDash, and ooh, oh, they threw, there's the owner of the truck. Hell yeah, owner of the Sunblock of Rome. And he's got some sick stuff. Look what they gave us for the air filter. That's going to be the sock that's going to go on. All the cold air stuff, and then the best part. This is Pedal Monster, best part. All right, let me get some batteries and get set up, because this is going to be really awkward to work on. This is not a usual candidate. Stepping up over the Georgia Bulldog. We're gonna need to get, obviously, the old one out. All right, taking these connections off, we have a mass airflow sensor connector. You guys have seen me take this off before. This air filter, compared to the other ones, I had the competitors on here, and when I got the Banks big ass filter in, it was obviously a noticeable difference versus what I had on there. So I took that one off and put the Banks one on. Got a couple 7 millis. 7 milli. We're not going to be using any of the snorkeling again, just the mass airflow sensor. So you guys can decide what you want to do and get rid of it or hold on to it. whatever. Let's see how dirty his air filter is. Oh, ain't too bad. I've seen worse. All right, one up here that is going to be something you're going to have to get off. Trim tool number one is a little trim clip that you are going to reuse into the Banks kit, so make sure you save that. Pop this off. There's a 7 milli straight down. We're not going to be reusing that either. Out. And now I made a video a while ago showing how to take, oh, it went all the way through. What the fuck is that?
It's his ringtone.
Call the cops! Okay, you need to really. I hope that shit picked that up, dude. I hope that shit picked that up. All right, really got to pull up on this and get your purse out of the way because you really got to pull up on this. And once it's out, that's it. Now once you get the air filter out, there are two 13 millis that you're gonna have to remove to take that whole bracket off. We're not reusing that either, but we will be utilizing the holes and not the fasteners because Banks is gonna give us two new 10 milli bolts to put in there. Okay, 13 millis coming at it. I just got my new ratchet. I had to buy a new one. My long neck quarter drive, the freaking ball fell out. So I had to get a new one, but this one's the high speed one, so I'm really digging it. All right, let me get some Banks parts. Okay, housing going in, and if you guys can see this right here, you can. Take this and go just like this. You're gonna set the air filter in, and it's gonna allow that AC line to kind of slide right past the air filter housing. And then you just got to make sure to line up those two bolts because the 10 millis that they provided are going to fasten this to the truck. $10 milli, tighten down.
$100 million.
Okay, nice. I like. Okay, next Banks part. Okay, air filter time. Pardon the noise. We got some grinding going on. I'm gonna put the air filter in like this. I like to index the clamp in a manner that'll allow us to get it while it's in the truck. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this clamp a little to take care of, see how far off it is. I wanna tighten that gap up a little so I'm not struggling when it's installed. There we go. See the gap difference right here? So this is supposed to be sitting in the air filter. We're gonna kind of slip that onto the part. It's only going to go in so far, so that looks like it's in all the way. I'm just working the clamp all the way to the top of the rubber so that it's sitting like this. I want that clamp to get as much bite as it can. Go ahead and tighten this. Okay. One thing that Banks did send the customer was this high flow filter wrap, and I have this on my own truck, especially when it gets really dusty, when it is salty out, depending on where you live. I mean, it could be dusty from multiple things, but this is just a little extra protection against that oiled filter. Just get this garter belt wrapped all the way around the outside edge. And then your new filter looks like this. All right, now air filter is going in. It is literally going to sit in here like this with these two holes mating up. You know, before I go further, I guess I don't want you guys to drop anything. Let's go ahead and take this mass airflow sensor out of the stock lid and transfer it over, noting the direction of flow the air is going. The air is coming out of the filter and going into the engine. The air is coming out of the filter and going into the engine, so this has to go in the exact same way that this one is. So we need, I think it's T15. Let's take this out, putting in. Or if you guys had a PTT screwdriver, you wouldn't have to go to the toolbox to get a T15. Now watch me not be able to get the other screw out. Oh yeah, screwing out of plastic. Oh yeah. Now Banks gives you new screws, but we won't need the lid anymore. New filter snorkel and stock master fill installed. All right. Same style kind of screws. PTT screwdriver, killing it. Guess we should start with putting these in first. I did not on mine, just because I had a power tool, but I don't have a power tool today with a Phillips bit. Snug. Snug. Okay, now one of the things that does come in the kit is a rubber plug. If you have a restriction gauge for your air filter from the factory, you can use it, or you'll have to block it off with their little rubber plug. Excuse me while I burp my Waffle House. I don't know if you guys have ever had. You guys ever had Waffle House? I had it for the first time today. It was pretty good. All right, don't want to forget the mass airflow sensor, and that is right here. And plugging in. There we go. Plugging in. Boom, bada bang. And they give you a zip tie to re-secure this harness to their little tethered hole, which is cool. Kind of do something like this. Don't get it too tight. Go ahead and pull it down. Okay, I like that. Go ahead and cut that off.
Hey, core. More batteries. Okay.
There we go. Okay, now we're clipped off. Now, realistically, we could put on the Banks snorkel, or the rubber part that connects the engine to the air filter, just because everything is nice and loose. So we got a clamp here. I'm gonna have it facing us. We need to tighten that down some. Go ahead, tighten this clamp down. like it. Now let's do the same thing with this one. I want it again facing us. This is the oval connection. Okay, a little bit more. There we go. Just enough for it to not flop around, but enough for us to still slide it on. So we're gonna go up and down with the air filter, put this on. Just like that, and then we're gonna rotate it right down into the engine. Like this. See if I can back this camera up a little bit. There we go. Clamp's coming off. Just work the rubber around. Oh. Come on. There we go. There we go. Okay, it's all the way on the engine. I'll put the clamp directly in the middle. There we go. There we go. Tighten that down. Now we could leave this one loose while we work that lid on, but I think we'll be good. Go ahead and tighten it now. Now what you guys are going to want to watch out for or pay attention when you go to put the lid on, see how the holes aren't lined up? You're going to have to kind of work the filter and work everything so that those all line up, and then you'll be able to screw them down. Okay, here comes the lid, and like I said, we're just going to have to wake it. Okay, there's one. We have two different size bolts. We have long and shorts. The long ones are going to go in the holes closest to the engine. The short ones are going to go towards the fender. So I'm going to put one down. Phillips. I left the plexiglass little cover off, and actually I could see the screws going right through into the boss, so that actually kind of helped out. This is the last one. There we go, last one. Make sure you snug them down. Leave them all loose and then tighten them. Don't tighten one down all the way and then expect them all to be lining up, because that's gonna just mess it all up. Much better when you have electric tools. I can't remember the last time I had to use a screwdriver to do this. Perfect. All right, the last thing you're gonna do after you do the screws is get this trim clip and and try to align it in this hole. I'm gonna need two hands. Gotta do a little shaky. There we go. Just had to give it a little a little alignment. All right, last thing we need to do is put the plexiglass thing on, which they gave us some Loctite, and that pretty much is going to end the installation of the Ram Air big ass air filter. The next thing we're going to do while the diff gets completed is, last but not least, the pedal monster. All right, I'll straight up do some side windows, but there's no way I'm doing any curved glass. It's a pain in the butt. You gotta stretch it, but there's tricks of the trade to stretching in quadrants and using a glove. And I've seen some people use dryer sheets. Is dryer sheets?
We use are we still using ivory soap? Ivory soap.
Nah.
Like an application.
I'd much rather pay somebody to do it. I'm not fucking doing it. No way, no way. I am not Bob Vila. I stay in my lane, and this is my lane. All right, we're under the dash now, and we are gonna be finally installing the pedal monster. This is the best bang for your buck. I have I'm sorry, not so many. I have every freaking person. They get a hold of me once they're done installing this, and they tell me the exact same thing that I told them. Freaking awesome. The truck is completely different. And what you guys are gonna do is take your PTT screwdriver, pop that red tab, and then there's a button right here, exactly on the factory one. Okay, I unplugged it, you guys can see that. Now on the pedal monster, there's a male and a female. I'm gonna plug the male into the female, connect it, and I'm gonna plug the other end of this module right into the accelerator pedal. Now the only thing you have coming off is this thing. We have a couple connections that are now gonna be going via this wire to the eye dash that is gonna be sitting right here. I'm gonna pop a couple panels off and get some of this wiring taken care of. Pop this little panel off. Okay. And let's get some lightage, some lumens up in here so that we can see the cavity of which we are working. So you can envision the pedal monster having to go across, you know, zip tied up, and then, you know, going someplace in here like this. We don't want it dangling around above the pedals, doing anything like this. So just be cognitive of where you're putting all these wires so that they're not flopping around on moving parts, especially the steering shaft. The steering shaft's going right down through here. You don't want, you know, the steering shaft turning and doing this on the wire either. So, I mean, just pay attention, and we've got some other installation videos showing how to put this in, so it's really a no-brainer when coming to the pedal monster. So, all right, one thing I like about these cables is that they are flat. They're easily hideable is the word, between two pieces of plastic or somewhere down in a crevasse of the dash that will allow you to kind of hide this length of wire. So what I'm going to do is plug this 6-pin connector into the pedal monster. Doesn't matter which side you're putting it in. The other end is the same. Now that is going directly to our eye dash. So this is going to be plugging in to our eye dash, and then our eye dash wire is going to be coming down and going to our OBD. So we're kind of making like a loop, but that so far is the connection. Now in the kit, they give you a whole bunch of zip ties, and we are going to utilize these to attach this under the dash. So bear with me, I'm going to zip tie this up. I'm going to show you afterwards where this is going to be sitting, and then we're going to run this wire up together to the A-pillar. I'm done putting the pedal monster in. Here is the cable from the OBD. This is going to the eye dash. Here is the pedal monster wire, and I like that they're flat, like I was explaining to you, and I kind of did something like this. We're gonna kind of route this back behind here, and it is going to allow us to put these wires right into our pod. So before we do that, we're gonna need to take off the A-pillar. Have a couple 10 millis. Gotta put it on loosen first, duh. Oh, they're staying in. Guess they're not staying. Now, if you got a fancy truck, you're gonna have this tweeter connector right here. Little button on it, right there. Squeeze that button. But this is what we have to modify right here. We are no longer gonna need this thing, so you can either cut this or just pull it out. I'm not gonna need that. But the location of where I want you guys to drill is directly under here. So we're gonna put the included bit, the stepper bit that they give you, we're gonna drill like right here, directly at that line. And we're gonna go all the way in till we just about get to this hole. So I'm saying we would leave that gap starting here, filling this hole like this, or opening this hole right here. So let me find a drill and then we'll do this together. All right, let's cause some havoc. I'm gonna use my seating arrangement. Okay, I'm gonna go right here. Okay, I'm gonna flip this around. Clean that edge up. Now, to test if it goes in, let's try to slip in our electrical connectors, because we're gonna have to put 2 of them in there. So if they both fit, then we know we've created a big enough hole to drill. So we'll go ahead and pop these back out and assemble the A-pillar back onto the truck. Okay, so I guess what we could do is I'm gonna put the wire right through this crack right here. I'm gonna do the same thing with the other one, right like this. So let me connect my, I'm gonna have to get up in here. This is just too tall. Tweeter plugged in. I'm just gonna kind of mock it up in here. Let's see. Take this down. Slide it in the little slots. Okay, so that's how it's supposed to be sitting. Okay, I'm gonna take our wire and go right into the hole. There's one. You can adjust the slack as necessary. Okay, the second one. Let's get this puppy in here. Now once we connect them, we'll have to pull the slack out of the cables so we don't have it all bunched up in the pod. All right, let's see what this looks like installed. Okay, we have slack. Do we have slack? I'm pulling on the other one. Okay, so here is our cabling. I like the way this is sitting in here. Let's get this out of my way. Okay, everything, I can dig that flow. All right, so we have two cables that are just going to be chilling here, and that is going to require us to use our I-dash pod mount, which is going to slide and look factory ASF. Now, what you guys are probably going to be wondering, well, what bolt are you going to be using? Well, they give us a brand new Allen and an Allen wrench. So let me put these back through, put this back up in here. There we go. Now I can plug in the gauge. Much gooder. Come on. I got to line up the right angle on the dangle. There we go. Okay, Allen. At least we have enough room to put the long side in, so we don't have to be doing short little throws with the Allen wrench. I really like how this meets up with the gap here on the A-pillar. It is a very factory looking piece. You know, you could do the suction cup if you guys wanted to, but if you also have a 23 and 24, the pod dual and single is going to be almost available for your guys' body style, because in the interior they changed a little different. We don't have two bolt hole covers like we were accustomed to. This whole piece now comes off, and well, I mean, this isn't going to be the same, so they had to redesign it, but nonetheless they have it coming out here shortly, and I would stay tuned to the channel because I have a hankering one is coming. Go ahead and tighten this one. Okay, that is good. That is good. The last part, the best part, is the I-dash. Now, we have two different ones. So we have a 4 and a 6. I'm gonna go ahead and plug the 6 in. Gonna have to move over. Well, maybe I'll plug the 4 in first. Or maybe I'll plug the 6 in. Now we're connected. And it has a perfect fit. Now, we'll go ahead and put this panel back on and go under the weather stripping. Or not. All right, there we go. I don't know if my man's key's in here. I think it's right there. So the one thing you guys are gonna have to do when you hook up the I-dash, or even the pedal monster for that matter, is one, don't be alarmed if it does not turn on. It uses RPM signal to activate the I-dash, so you're gonna have to manually turn it on. But we're gonna need to go down to Banks modules, and it is scanning on the CAN bus. It has noticed the pedal monster. So you notice right here at the bottom, it says calibration incomplete. We're gonna proceed to calibration, and it's gonna want us to depress the gas pedal all the way completely, release the gas pedal, depress the gas pedal, release the gas pedal. Success. So now calibration is complete, and now you'll be able to change on the fly what level you guys want. So we have 4 to choose from: stock, city, sport, and track. Each one of those has 10 different level increments. So you have 40 different settings that you can change. I have mine on Sport 8. It is fun. We'll let the customer change that. But also for you guys that tow trailers, Banks has added in a trim value where you can actually trim out when the pedal monster is actually going to adjust your throttle. So whatever you deem it to be at 10, 15, 20 miles an hour, when you want the adjustment from the Banks, you can trim that out using this gauge here. I'm gonna start this up. Turn the eye dash on. Okay, so we are going to need to enter the engine displacement now that we have it running. 6, whoop, whoop, 6, 7, engine displacement. All right, so right now it generically has a bunch of stuff pulled up, but we will go to gauge selection, gauge layout. I have 8 on mine, but in case you want to watch the pedal monster, you guys can actually see. Right now we're on stock, and you can on the fly choose. Now we're on city 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Boom, now you're into sport. Go all the way through sport. Now you're in track. And track all the way up, whatever you want, track, sport, city. But the biggest difference that you guys are watching is this is stock, this is Banks. Whoa, look at the difference in the pedal response. Now I'm gonna go all the way back down to stock. Yep. Go down to stock. Oh, there we go. I can't tell you guys the difference that the pedal feels. It's something that you guys really need to check out. And if you have an extra few hundred bucks, if you guys have an extra few hundred bucks and you want to notice a difference on how your 6.7 works, this is a game changer. This is no tuning. It's no programming. It's simply, vaguely put, it's ironing out the preset values that Ford Motor Company has already wrote for the accelerator pedal curve. Banks is taking that curve and make it a lateral, you know, when you're looking at a graph, you know, Banks is taking that and going all the way to 100%, where Ford is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50%, 60, 70, 80, 100% throttle. This is how it should be. So when you're hitting 50% throttle, you're giving it 50% throttle. So I think the customer is definitely going to like. If you guys don't want to watch just the Banks pedal monster, I had mine set up on 8 gauges. So I have 8 pieces of information that I can view. A lot of guys like watching regen. If you haven't turned on the auto cleaning off to know more about your regen, you can monitor that with your iDash. Speed, boost, fuel rail pressure. After we get done installing the DCRs, having FRP pulled up here, you can really see how fast FRP is building compared to it when it was stock. So a lot of info. It's not just for Fords. It can be for your Dodge, your Jeep, your Commander, your frickin' Silverado. It doesn't matter. But obviously having more info displayed on the truck is what you want. I freaking love these interiors. This is my favorite color. We just got done doing a 24 from Oregon who had the Carmelo interior. Carmelo, it was freaking nasty. But I will stay with my black interior because I'm not doing a interior swap. We are completed with this Banks fulfilled, overnighted, big shout out. We appreciate you guys for watching and sending us overnighting quality parts. So I want you guys to tell me if you guys like this video in the comment section. If you guys are doing this, look, I cannot believe how far above the axle I am. This is freaking awesome. I'd work on a lifted truck all the time if I had to do stuff like this. Let me know. I appreciate you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, sub, share, and I'll catch you guys all next time. See ya! And a big shout out to Sunblock of Rome for letting us work in their shop and do some upgrades to my favorite trucks on the planet, the Ford Super Duty. If you're in the Georgia, Rome area, make sure to check out some 100% professional auto tinting and accessories for not just your Ford. I'll see you guys later.